The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Welcome to this week on the show. It's Wednesday here. It doesn't matter. It's this week. It's Wednesday. Well, it's not.
It's actually next week.
Wait, it's Thursday. Oh, it's next week. Okay, so this is taped Thursday before Christmas, everyone, but you're getting this after Christmas. I hope your Christmas was amazing. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, how could you? How could you not celebrate Jesus Christ's birthday? Is it his birthday? Yeah, that's right. I hope it was good. We're still in that zone at this point right now where we haven't gone back to work yet, though. Like, it's still holiday. Like, the world hasn't, like, really gone back to normal. I love this kind of zone. But it's looming, and you're back to school soon, bitches. I have a show New Year's Eve coming up in St. Louis. You know that. I hope I see you there. But you know who you will see there, if you are there as well, is she'll be in town opening for me, as she is on all of my shows this tour. It's Anya Marina, everyone. She's here.
Hello. I can't wait.
Hello.
It's going to be so fun.
It will be fun.
I'm so glad
Kristen's
I don't have to spend New Year's alone.
Oh, yes. Well, you were going to do that anyway because you have a boyfriend, you know?
A fiancé.
A fiancé.
Yes, that's true.
Fiancé. It's never like alone.
Yeah, but I guess I'm just glad I'm doing something because the last few years I've done nothing. Yeah.
I know. I usually don't do anything. Like, if I ever have to go to a party or something, it seems daunting to be even invited to one, to find a place to go, and then you have to get like a dress. You got to go to like Wet Seal. I don't know. I'm going back to high school days.
Wet Seal. Contemporary casuals.
Charlotte like Wet Seal? No, Wet Seal was like slut wear, like back in the day, like early slut wear. And I say
wet
that again
sluts.
with love. Yeah, wet sluts. And and because you club baby seals and you were about to go clubbing. I think that was the connection. And you're wet because you're young and just fucking dripping. What?
Yeah, like why did they come up with that name?
It sounds like a kind of green vase situation. Remember, me and my friends in high school were trying to come up with like, guys, we want to talk about like sex around our parents, but we don't want that, or in notes that we write in high school. But if someone finds the note, we want to not have it say blowjob. And so we were like, what should it be? And I remember being like, and you've heard the story before, but I was like, blowjob can't be something stupid like, and I looked around my room and I had all these like bottles that I collected that were like blown glass. And I was like, it can't be like green vase. And then we were like, that's exactly what it could be. So I bet you anything that they were trying to come up with the name of that place. And they can't be like, it can't be something dumb like, and then someone like they hit their hand and a glass of water spilled, and then it spilled on the seal of an envelope. And they were like Wet Seal. And they were like, that's good, Johnny.
It's like euphemism for like a young underage girl, like jailbait. They're like, so guess who I got together with last night? A wet seal.
Yeah, it does sound like, you know how gay men like call things like bears or otters or, whatever. It sounds like the way men would talk about us. Why is that on my mind? Like talking about young women and grooming them? Oh, I don't know. A new documentary came out 2 days ago.
Quite a bombshell.
Quite a bombshell. Did you see the Crystalia thing, Noah?
What? Wait, there's a documentary on Crystalia?
It's called The Crystalia Problem on YouTube. And I do recommend it, even though I did not care. You know what a documentary I would like about, if all the accusations and all of the things that are within the documentary, the facts as this person sees them or as they are presenting them with like backed up evidence. And, this guy has like girls on the phone that, witness testimony kind of things. You have so much evidence. You even have a Snapchat from Crystalia recording of him being like, hey, I just made this apology. I mean, it was during the time where he made the, apology. And he's like kind of being like, hey, he's talking to the girl like, I'll still see you. Just like, please take down the thing, a video about me or something like that. If you have all of that, don't add a snarky like narration to it all. I don't need that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that
saying
took
like,
away from it.
If the facts are already like sad and like scathing and like pretty much incendiary and feel legit to me, you don't need to go like, and then the scum of the earth, Crystalia, didn't think that was enough. It's like, don't don't editorialize this. Like, you're doing a documentary.
Right.
And so it just felt like the whole thing felt very sensational, which is exactly what people use to refute that this is something factual, is that you have your own opinion all over it. So they're going to use that to go, this is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, check that out.
Otherwise, it was. I would say it's 4 stars because of so many bombshells dropped. But yeah,
well,
the
I
tone
started
was
watching
off.
it and go, there's nothing. Not that there's nothing here, but like nothing new. And then 20-minute mark, you go, oh boy, Keith Raniere is rolling in his isolated
jail cell in
chamber.
Albany.
He's like, what is it with men wanting to start cults and harems and have women, there are times where I listen to these things and I'm like, there's some of the stuff that I'm kind of into, of like, get on your knees. Listen to what I said, get on your knees. Like that kind of like BDSM stuff, when it is agreed upon by both parties. Not when it's a girl that came up to your room who's 17 years old, who just came up to make out before your show, and then all of a sudden you're saying, get on your knees, and yelling at her, get on all fours in your fucking Radisson hotel room 20 minutes before you have to, she's gonna go watch you at the Improv. Give me a break. God damn it.
At least do it in an AC hotel, an AC Marriott.
At a Renaissance. I mean, come on, if you're going to act like a king. No, it's just that this is all such blur. It's not blurry. I mean, I only watched half of the documentary, so I can't comment on everything. But the half that I saw, it made me sick, and I had to turn it off. Because I was just like,
you would get infuriated by the rest because he encourages already skeletal girls to get even more skeletal. It's very disturbing. He's a true worthless person.
It's over. Whether it's over for him or not, it's over for me. Like, there are things where you just go, no. Like, as I was watching it, I go, even if none of this is illegal, let's say they don't get him for any of it,
Right.
It's so embarrassing that he behaved this way and thought it was appropriate and disgusting. And it's really a shame that he is this person. It's a shame that someone that does have that talent, this much talent and that much likability, is that much of a fucking weirdo and like can't help himself. How embarrassing. Did you feel that way, Anya? Like, there's no coming back from this kind of thing of like, oh boy, he asked them, what was the one, there was one line that I go, nope, no matter what is disproved of this, I'll never forget this part. I forget it now, but it was just
it the daddy part where she's like, I already have a daddy. And he's like, I'm your daddy.
That kind of turns me on. But listen, this is my problem, not yours. No, it was, him trying to get them all to live together.
Oh, yeah.
What?
He tried to get these girls. He wanted a harem. He wanted a house that he could go to, and one would fuck him, one would suck him, one would feed him, one would massage him, one would like bathe, clean him. I mean, this is just the girls, what they were saying. This wasn't like reading his text, so maybe they were paraphrasing, but he wanted to like, have these girls human centipeding him from every angle.
This most disturbing part is that he's never had a drop of alcohol in his life.
Well,
so
and then
clearly this is his drug of choice.
Power.
That was a good point the documentary made. They go, oh, but so everyone goes, well, he doesn't do the other things, he does this. And it's like, have a drink, man. Like, I thought that was a really funny commentary. I'm like, have a Miller Lite. Like, but I was listening. This led me to another, like a new pedophile podcast came out. A double P, a podcast investigating child sex images, which is a global epidemic. I don't know if that's the right word to say, or pandemic, whatever it is. It is like, you don't understand. You think you know. Even law enforcement is like in this podcast, and it's called The Children in the Pictures. The Children in the Pictures. Everyone needs to watch. I listened to 7 episodes last night in my bed. And so I'm like all about it. But all about it meaning like I'm vigilant to stop these motherfuckers. Like, people need to know about this. And I'm sorry if you're like, stop, Nikki, earmuffs. I have kids. Get your kids away from men. And I was right. Anya, I've been right. I've been saying on stage, I do this joke about how no one should have male babysitters anymore. No, like they should be canceled. I know it's sexist, but no men should be able to be in childcare at all. And I know we are in like a childcare probably endemic. I don't know. I'm just saying words that I don't know, but we probably are like need more childcare than ever right now. It doesn't matter. We need to get men out of there because I said it. I say in the joke, I know that not every man working in childcare is a pedophile, obviously. But I know that if I were a pedophile, what industry I would slowly slink towards. And everyone kind of laughs and goes, I don't know. I'm right. These motherfuckers, this podcast documentary is talking about this web ring that was busted that they got into somehow, and they infiltrated on the dark web, which is impossible to get in because to become a member of this message board that has 45,000 members, to become a member of it, you have to submit terabytes, which is like hours and hours, like maybe not terabytes because I think 1 terabyte is 500 hours of video footage, but you have to submit multitudes of your own child sex images to stay on the site every 30 days. You have to like upload new ones that haven't been seen before. So it keeps cops out, right? Except the cops have tons of child sex images, by the way, and they have rights to use them to catch other ones. So if you're in these little message boards, which I don't think any of our listeners are, just know that cops are in there and they're monitoring you and they will find you. So anyway, these message boards, you have to prove that you're one of them. You have to submit stuff and you have to make your own stuff. And they do tag. You guys, I'm so sorry to start this pod. Merry Christmas, everyone. But they
Happy New Year.
It's so fucked. Okay, so anyway, just to like make it quick, get to my point. These men, there's parts of the message board. So the message board is about trading sex images, but also talking about how to get kids and how to do this. And the number one thing that they say is to get into childcare, work with kids, become a babysitter, get your teaching license, go take a swim class at the YMCA, become friends with the parents of the child, gain the trust. It is, you guys should hear, every parent needs to hear how these men operate because they become friends with the family first and they become a trusted part of the family. And they trick even the smartest, most vigilant parents. So what I'm saying is don't become friends with any men either if you have a family. Don't trust anyone. But it made me feel so validated because I on my own came up with like these like, pedophiles aren't like going, you know what? It would be so cliche if I became a male babysitter. Right. I'm not going to do that. That'll be so obvious. No, they're not that smart, you guys. They're going to follow their passion just like you would. Like if you loved playing guitar, you would probably be like, I want to be a musician when I grow up. This is all they care about because it has to be all they care about because they don't have time to have careers or families themselves because they have to be on these websites constantly. So they don't really have that many skills outside of it. I mean, some of them do, and they like, it's disgusting. So anyway, the children in the pictures, that's my tirade for now, but moving on.
What I find so interesting, can I just add one thing, is the pushback you get, and I wonder what that's about. Like, why are so many people like, Nikki, stop, you're being weird, when you're not at all. Your intention is to help children stay safe.
Because people don't understand how I could even listen to these things. They're weirded out by that because people are so sensitive to it, which understandable.
But there's a big groan when you go, sorry, no more male babysitters, guys. Sorry. And then there's like
because they all have male babysitters and they've all used them in the past. As I have been watched by a male babysitter named Jim in the 80s, and lots of our time hanging out was I don't remember it. And I don't know why I don't remember it. But like, let me just say, like, I don't think he did anything. But I don't remember. All I remember is he introduced me to the song, and we can build this dream together, standing tall forever. Please go down on me right now. I think that was how it ends. That's the only thing I remember is him playing that record for me. No, Jim was a trusted guy, but he was, I just know if I were a parent, I wouldn't trust my kids around men. ever alone. And a gymnastics coach, I just even if they're good at it, they can be maybe good at two things. But it's just the way you hear on this podcast about how these guys are like, what you got to do is like, you just got to become a teacher. Like what? Or you have to go be a missionary, go be a Christian missionary and go pray on kids in Malaysia who don't have it, who are orphans. Or
I guess the
work
groan
in the
is
foster
about
care system. It's like it's fucked. And so that's just what I spent 7 hours listening to last night. I can't help it though. I think it's the same thing as like people go, I can't watch Dahmer, and they kind of feel like better about themselves because they're like, I don't like murder. I mean, sometimes I'm even like that. I hate gun violence in movies, and I go, how do people like seeing people shot? I don't like horror. Why do people like to be scared? And people go, I don't like necessarily like it. I just like, how do people like someone singing like, like I don't get it. It's not like I do like this stuff. I like learning about, because it makes me fired up and it makes me feel like I can protect my family and like people, I guess. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie, I'm just fascinated by people with weird fucking brains. And it makes me also, because I don't believe in free will, I have a little bit of empathy for these people who have fucked up brains. I have a little bit of like, oh, thank fucking God, that's not me. Have you ever checked if you were a pedophile? Have you ever like run that through your brain? Like, I think I've said this one time at a show and people laughed because no one wants to admit it, but we've all had the thought of like, do I like to fuck it? Like, would that, you had to at some point go like, that couldn't be me. Or like, you have a thought of wanting to like kick a woman in front of a train or something and you go, oh, am I one of these people? And it's like, no, you just have unwanted thoughts. But the relief of if you're not a pedophile listening right now, you have just be the happiest person alive. Like if you're ever struggling to be grateful for something, be grateful for that, because these people there's nothing to fix it. There's no amount of therapy that can fix it. There's nowhere for them to go. A lot of times there are starting to be more places. Honestly, that's what I want to start, is a place for pedophiles to go and to be able to learn how to not offend. Like,
Nikki
I think that
Glaser's
is what we need more
pedophile
than
shelter.
anything. Yeah, I do, because I don't think it's a disgusting thing that I want to stop more than anything. And if anyone hurt any of you or my besties or anything, like I would want to strangle them and like kill them. And I love when I hear about them being stabbed in prison and all these things. But at the same time, they didn't choose that brain, and you should just thank your lucky fucking stars you didn't get that brain. And so I have to remember that.
Do you give Chris D'Elia the same, like,
yes, benefit? I did. That's honestly what I felt yesterday listening to that, is like, this guy who's so talented, he probably has so many people that love him, and he probably loves so many people. He has a son that I'm sure he loves very much, a wife he loves very much, and he has a brain that thinks that is a monster. He has a monster brain that he either got born with or someone gave to him by doing something monstrous to him. But there is a part of me that goes, this poor motherfucker, in the worst. And don't quote me being like, Nikki sympathizes with him. He's a monster, should be stopped. Don't like him. We need to set an example so that other people that want to do this monster behavior don't do it. So we need to let him, like, put him away if we can and stop this behavior. But can he help the way that his brain wants to work? No, he can't. Can he help the things that he does? I want to say no, but I will say yes, he can, because people will get mad at me if I say no. But I don't think anyone can help any of their actions, really. So yeah, I was filled with like rage listening to that, disgust. At no point was I like, yes, we got him. I'm just like, this is all just so fucking sad and gross.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry to these women that like just thought they were meeting someone famous that they liked and thought was really funny. And then he starts controlling their lives and saying, go kneel down wherever you are right now, kneel down. Like they'd be in public.
One girl couldn't leave her house because she's only allowed to leave when he says she can leave. She had to ask his permission, like, I want to go to the grocery store now. And he'd be like, no.
I'm fucking so gross. I'm so sorry to these women. And yeah, I'm just sorry that this whole segment was about this. But we're going to move on to brighter things after the break. Right after this with Anya Marina and Noah. All right, we're back. So I have a pig in my lap. I got a stuffed animal pig a while ago, and I don't know. I just saw it in my bed the other day, and I thought I want to bring it in and just like hug it. I was supposed to have Luigi come over yesterday because I'm sick at home and I can't see anyone because I have COVID. And said like, COVID cranking through my sis. I got COVID cranking through my sis. Shout out to Chelsea Peretti. That was a parody of her song Coffee Cranking.
That was
Through
my
Sis.
ringtone for like 4 months.
Oh my God. I lived with Anya in like 2013 and she had Chelsea Peretti singing, I got coffee cranking through my sis. 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 And her phone rings all the time. It was crazy. And I was also so
happened once in a church
at the time that I was just like, and she would always laugh whenever it came on because it is hilarious. So it was just like constantly being bombarded with this person who I was so jealous of. And like my friend who I like, making my friend laugh is the only thing that gives me purpose in the world. And now she's laughing harder at her fucking ringtone of this girl. It was just like it was hard. It was a really hard time.
I think I switched to Andy Milonakis, some audio he did from a Vine that was like, I see you, which is an even creepier ringtone. I don't know what it was.
There are some things that just like orally. Wait,
yeah.
How do you say aurally? Aurally.
Aurally.
Laugh. Like make anyone laugh, but like
I don't like any books.
Oh yeah, Gabe Liedman, his half hour for Comedy Central, he's talking about reading books and he's like, I don't like books. I don't read any books. It is so funny. Just the way people say things is funny. One that I really love. Oh, I just had it. Oh, that when Ava, the little girl that used to be on Vine as well. What's her last name? Ava Ryan. And her mom puts up stuff, and I guess her mom's name's Kelly Ryan, and you can see it all.
Katie Ryan.
If you YouTube Ava Ryan, you will have the best time of your life. She's the little girl that is so cute, and her mom's been filming her since she was like 2, and she just says the funniest things. But one of the funniest ones is probably it's probably the earliest one of her, and she has like a catalog of saying funny stuff her whole childhood, and now she's like 13 and so adorable and does makeup tutorials in her car with her mom. It's so funny. But the first one, she's looking out the window, and she just like is like, I smell like beef.
That one is so funny.
I smell like beef. And then she slowly looks at the camera because her mom's filming her. She's like looking out the window, kind of putting her hand on it. She's like, I smell like beef. And then she looks at her mom and she goes, and she gets like a sinister smile. It's so funny.
I love that one.
That one's
She's
good.
so cute.
Yeah, there's just certain ways of saying. The other day I said something. Oh, I was doing my positive affirmations in the mirror. And I'm trying a new one that's, I love you. Like just telling myself I love you. Like I love you so much. Like the way I would tell Poppy. It's really embarrassing, you guys. It's very hard to do. But before bed, when I'm feeling like sometimes my depression like flares up at night, and especially in the morning too, I just go like, I love you. I really love you. And I like, it's Louise Hay again. It's the one that I've been listening to a lot and recommending to you guys. And a lot of you have written to me and said that it has worked for you. So I was doing that the other day, but I ended up being like, I love you. Like, you have beautiful eyes. Like, I was just kind of talking to myself in that kind of vocal fry. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of affirmations every night and every day, and it so helps. Anya, have you done those a lot before?
Oh yeah, I did it when I was single and at my lowest point of like I was happily single for many years, and then at one point I'm like, okay, I'm ready for a partner. And I tried to date a few people and it just was not going well. And I was like, this sucks. There's nothing more lonely than trying to date someone and it's not going well. That feels lonely to me, lonelier than being alone. So
lonelier than saying I love you into your own reflection in the mirror in an airplane bathroom on a Southwest flight from Vegas to St. Louis after you've been kicked off set for having COVID. Okay, go on.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, pretty lonely.
But a friend was like, you need to say the things to yourself in the mirror that you want a partner to say to you. And she was like, it's embarrassing, but just do it. Like your dream partner. And I was like, oh my God. So I did it every night for a while. And it was like, you are the most beautiful woman I've ever met. You're the sexiest woman I've ever met. I'm so
is a
turned on by you. I
Ever
love
met?
you. I want to meet your fam. I want to know
This guy
everything
doesn't
about
get
you.
around. I'm just kidding.
I told
I would
you.
never be able to say that because I would be like, he's probably met someone more beautiful than me.
Yeah. No, but this is like my fantasy. So you get to do whatever you want in your fantasy.
Okay. I'm into it.
And then the weirdest thing happened. I started to have the best sleep of my life. I was doing it right before bed and like crying in the mirror and being like, this is so stupid. But then you realize, oh my God, I had no idea what I truly wanted deep down. And then the pendulum swings the other way and you're like, why is this so out of reach? Like, why do I think this is so embarrassing? These are pretty basic things. Like, I want to be loved. I want to be sexy. I want my partner to have my back. That was a big one for me. Like, I have your back. I am not going anywhere because I had a history of people just bailing. So I started to have this amazing sleep and I had this feeling of being in love. And if you keep reading Louise Hay and all those Abraham Hicks books, they all, and all successful people talk about, you have to harness the feeling of what it's like to be where you want to be. And that's what it's all about. Like, get the feeling inside you.
You
of
like
being in
astral
love.
project it. It's about, like, I was talking about this months ago when I was reading that Louis Dispenza book about, quantum physics and how, like, that life that you dream of for yourself is happening somewhere on some quantum realm. And
Yes.
if the only way to see it is to look at it, is to feel it. Because they look at, like, under an electron microscope, they'll look at atoms and they can't see the atoms until they look at them. But they're all over. But when you look at them, they suddenly appear. And so that what made this guy realize, like, if you manifest things, if you look at them, if you see the life that is happening, it's happening somewhere out there. Like, every version of the life you could have is happening on quantum realm somewhere. I don't understand science, but if you visualize it and you feel it, it will appear. And I can't believe that it kind of works, these things. And like my self-esteem, not only did Jerry Seinfeld very much help my self-esteem in ways that, like, I can't understand. I didn't articulate it well when I said that I think I said that Conan has always been a big influence of, it's Conan and Jerry Seinfeld were my number 1 and 2 of, like, influences. And Larry David too, let's throw him in because he was more responsible for Seinfeld than I realized when I was in 8th grade and obsessed with Seinfeld. I was always that would have been like, oh, those are people I seek their approval. I met Conan through, like, I'm on his show. Of course he's going to say I'm funny. Like, even if I've heard Conan tell people who aren't funny, that was great. Thank you for being on the show. Like, I don't trust Conan because he is a talk show host that I've seen lie to people. Like, just because you have to. If I'm ever a talk show, you guys have probably seen me lie on this show, and you're like, Nikki, that person wasn't that great, and you're being really nice. Because I'm being nice. I'm not being necessarily lying, but I'm, so I can never, no matter what Conan says, unless we are, like, in private, if we're on mic and he's saying I'm funny, I really can't believe it. And I will always deflect it, even though it is sincere. And I do know that it is sincere, but I will always deflect it. But Seinfeld didn't need to do that. And he's not someone that you see act like that normally, of, like, the Kesha incident. So that is why it was so important to me. And then also, Chris reminded me that I also met Larry David this past year.
Yeah.
Who also told me he was a fan. But he also did it.
And he came to see your show.
Yes, and he didn't need to say it because he came to see Bill Maher's show, and I was on Bill Maher's show. So he didn't need to say it, but he was like, I'm a huge fan. So he did say that too, and I should have let that sink in a little bit more. So that, yeah, like that stuff, that really, I'm so happy that happened to me because I really needed it. Like, my shows recently have been so much better because of it, because of that Jerry Seinfeld endorsement. And I just needed it. And thank God you were there, Anya, because it would just be my word against, like, I would have to call maybe
I was there.
His opener to be like, did you hear? Can you co-sign on that? He said all these things. Noah, do you
No,
ever
it
do
was so
positive
genuine.
affirmations?
So I actually got some like a very interesting suggestion from my jujitsu coach. She said to make a goal for the year or however many goals and then write 5 reasons why you can achieve that goal. And I haven't like, like they always say, oh, just like write out your goals and then you'll achieve them. But I never thought about like writing why I can achieve it. So,
Oh yeah, that gets you even closer to like how easy this is going to and how within reach it is. Like
Right.
Anya said, like once she started saying it, she was like, "Why is this so hard? Of course I could have this."
exactly.
Yeah,
really
Hala
good.
just sent a link on the girls chat about this guy that does tapping, and I did it when I was having a bad moment today. And I was like, oh, this is a tapping guy I've used before when I had like body image issues.
What is tapping?
And he's really good. And tapping, it's like EFT, like you do stuff like this, like. And he was doing this thing about like it's for success. And so he goes, I want you to close your eyes and visualize. I can't remember exactly what he says, but
Okay, we got to link this
visualize-
video.
Okay.
what?
We'll link this
Visualize
video.
Yeah,
so
we'll
people-
link it on Instagram.
yeah, just visualize
Oh,
the guy
I thought-
tapping, and then you don't need to actually see it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But he's like, visualize yourself doing the thing that you most want to be successful at. And then the tapping is all like, I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, I see myself doing this thing and there's no reason why I can't do this thing. And I'm awesome. And I don't remember the statements, but I did it all.
Does he like
and then
teach you where to tap as you say it?
Does he what?
Teach you where to tap as you say it?
No,
Or
you're
you just
following the YouTube. It's very
Got it.
basic. It's like forehead, cheek, chin, and then I think like underarm, sort of.
Okay.
But it does, as you're doing it, you're like, this is so dumb. And then you're like, why is this dumb? And then you
all
realize
these
your
things
inner
are dumb.
your inner critic thinks these statements are stupid.
The inner
like,
critic.
I know Matt would never do this. Like, I am awesome. I'm capable of doing these
Oh,
things.
yeah.
But successful people believe they are capable of doing shit. And everyone here can think of a mediocre person who has a shit ton of success. And you're like, how the fuck did that person get all that success? It's because they believed in themselves or someone did. And they have all this self-esteem that they shouldn't
Or they
have.
didn't care about not looking cool or failing. Like, let's just say you don't believe in yourself, because a lot of times there's maybe 2% of myself that says I could win Dancing with the Stars. There was a part of me that was like, there was a 0% chance I was going to win Dancing with the Stars when I signed up for it. And then I met people on the show who I saw that were so bad, and they were like, I could win this. And I just remember being like, what are you talking about? Wow, you are terrible. You're worse than me. You could win this. And then but it worked. Okay. The person who talked like that ended up winning that season. And they were the worst dancer that's ever won Dancing with the Stars to date. Okay. And this person, because they believed in themselves, and they knew the analytics of it. They were like,
Right.
They not only did they write down that goal, but they go, here's how, because half the voting is for the judges and the score, and then the other half is how many people call in. If I can get that vote, and convince America to vote, and so it was within reach. And I thought there's just no way. And to be honest, it probably wasn't within reach of me because I didn't have the amount of followers that this person had, or the outreach. But that is, I think a lot of times for me, I'm struggling with wanting to write a song. And every time I sit down to write a song, I'm like, I would have to show Anya and Matt this at some point. And they would both go like, be nice to me in person and go like, oh, that's good. And like, be nice. And like, maybe they actually kind of mean it. And then when they would get alone, they would be like, ugh, that first verse is ick, which you're allowed to do because it probably will be ick, because I've never written a fucking song before. And I would probably do the same thing to you if you came to me with like a routine you wanted to try. Like, it's the same, like, but the idea that someone could cringe at something I do is so like, that is what holds me back from
You give that a
everything
lot
I
of
wanna do.
power. And you brought that up
Yes.
before.
I give Anya and Matt, well, because I look up to them so much as singer-songwriters. Like, they're just the top of the game. Like, I have two best friends that are the best in the industry of what they do. They're like, and And so
That
it's
is
like,
very generous. Thank you.
no, it's not. You guys, Taylor Swift would be fucking lucky to work with either of you to write songs for her. And you know it. It's so true. There's no doubt about it. I watched you perform at that Santa Barbara show and I was like, there's no difference between Anya and Taylor Swift. There just is none to me anymore. Like, do you know what it is? It's believing in yourself is the difference. And yeah, she's taller and younger and, has the, it's just like better with fan outreach.
That our opinion would hold you back.
No, but it's not holding me back because if it wasn't you, it'd be my dad. If it wasn't you, it would be, Mark Norman and Sam Morrill on their podcast making fun of me. If it wasn't like, it would be, there's always going to be someone that's going, ugh, but like, or like holding me back. So I'm really like trying to come up with, because if you, let's say you came to me and were like, I want to do comedy, and you do some comedy, like in between your songs, you do legit jokes. And there have been times I've gone like, hey, I think this would work better than this. And you don't go like cry in a corner or go like, I could never be a comedian. First of all, I think you literally could be a comedian if you worked at it, just as like you probably think I could do singing, songwriting if I worked at it. Like it's just about putting in the work and asking for help where you need it. And I think that I'm just too. Do you guys relate to like not wanting to be cringe?
Yes. Oh my God. There's no. I was just talking about Matt about this. Like, there's no worse fear than the fear of rejection. Like your peers, your friends being like, "You're embarrassing." Or
you have someone just calling out a behavior that you've been doing a while that they didn't call out for a while because it was like they thought maybe you wouldn't do it anymore, and then you keep doing it, and then at one point someone's like, you do this thing, and then everyone goes like, oh, she always does that, and you go, what? And you're like, oh my God, I'm so fucking embarrassing. Even though every time I'm called out for something that I've been doing a lot of, I secretly know I'm doing it. There's a subconscious part of me that goes, I'm annoying, or I'm talking too much. Like, even when I was in the middle of that fucking pedophile rant, a break ago, I knew that there was parts of Noah being like, I'm going to have to flag this in case she wants to take out this later. I knew Anya was like, wow, I can't
I didn't write anything down.
I knew there were listeners. I know there's listeners going, God, Nikki, she's really fallen off since Andrew left. I know all of that. I have all of that in my head, yet I still kept talking. So why, I think that it's just embarrassing to be a human. You're just completely flawed all the time, and you can't be perfect. And even if you were, you would still find things wrong with you, because I know Taylor Swift wrote The Anti-Hero, that song. She has depression. She's worried about all the people talking about her. She thinks she's never good enough. She was in that music video where she looked at the scale and saw the word fat, which is no longer in the music video. So did it happen? I don't know. She's feeling all those things too. And it helps to know that. And it just helps to remember you're not a pedophile in the end, like that's
the moral of the story.
I am so fucking sorry for you. And you need to you need to go tell someone. You need to find a resource to tell someone that you have these attractions and you cannot help them. And that doesn't mean you're a bad person, because you have the attraction. But if you act on it, you are a bad person, and you don't want to be a bad person. So you need to look for help. Let's do Why Do I Care?
Why do I care?
Okay.
All right. It's been a while, but we've got some celebrity goss.
All right.
We'll see Why Do I Care.
I did not change any of the headline to make it my own, so I'm about to plagiarize the Daily Mail because this is such a funny headline.
They're the worst. Whose pins are strutting about? Who's flaunting their pins today?
Exclusive. Jerry Seinfeld, 68, shows off his toned torso in a wet t-shirt as his wife Jessica, 51, looks fit in a cheeky suit as they cool off in St. Bart's.
Poetry. Okay, I sent Noah this because you need to see it. Anya, are you pulling it up?
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, right here.
Wait, I sent the pictures in our group chat
here.
already. I have disseminated these photos to everyone in my life, including my boyfriend, Chris, because I told Chris that Jerry Seinfeld was hot and he was like, easy. Like, we don't need to hear this. And I go, it's remarkable what this man's body felt like when I hugged him. And now there is proof. The internet is going to blow up today because of this, I think. If these are to circulate, this is a big deal. That man is 68. You guys need to go see these pictures. He looks so good.
And Jess
isn't
Seinfeld is so hot and has the hottest ass. These two.
You can't even see Jerry's chest when she's in the like. You're just like focused on her pert little butt, which is none of my business.
She's got a great butt.
She has a six-pack ripping through a one-piece. By the way, you can see her six-pack through the one piece.
But do you think I didn't zoom in on every little crevice of her skin, looking for any blemish of her 51-year-old slamming bod?
He looks like an action hero.
Dude, he looks like Kumail Nanjiani.
Yes, dude.
Like, what is he preparing for? He's a Hemsworth.
I don't know. But also, we met him in person, and he was diminutive. I mean, he was like a smaller, thin, ripped-looking guy, but he looks skinny when you like walk in. So I'm like, how small is Jess?
Yeah, she's a tiny lady, but for sure. But she looks fucking great. I mean, whatever the Seinfelds are doing, they're doing it right. And
I'm into it.
To reference Rachel Feinstein last week on the show, there is a picture in there that I'm going to send Rachel, because you guys know what we send each other is pictures of men being delicate with their wives and like putting their hands gently on their small of their back. And there are many photos of where that's happening. And they have been married since 2000, I think, 1999. So this is a strong marriage. Oh yeah, he has his arm around her shoulder, and they're just like looking at the sunset. And then he also, not only does he have his arm around her shoulder, you guys, and he's pulling her in. His other arm is on her other arm, pulling her even closer, embracing her in a hug. But they're still looking in the same direction. I mean, it is, God, man, it makes you almost forget you're grateful for not being a pedophile because you get so jealous of that. You know what I'm saying?
It makes you almost get over your COVID.
Yeah, I can't. So anyway, I just felt so vindicated in after we had done a podcast 2 weeks ago saying how hot he was. All of a sudden, these pictures come out. Do I like the Daily Mail? No. Do I think they are like one maybe millimeter above Fox News? No. I think they are on the same level as Fox News. They are disgusting. Piers Morgan is awful. Everything about the Daily Mail, but do they do the best
photos,
celebrity invasive photos where you can literally see inside Jessica Seinfeld's womb? That's probably still fucking working because that bot is. Don't count her out. Yeah, they do. They're disgusting. They're invasive. They stalk celebrities. They probably killed Princess Diana. Like I hate them, but I still go and look at those pictures, and I will admit that I'm part of the problem. Okay, do we have another news story, Noah?
Sure. Let's do this one real quick because I want to know what your opinion is. Lana Del Rey bought one billboard to promote her album, and it's in her ex-boyfriend's hometown, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay. I put this on my story, and I put 4 volcano emojis because guess what, everyone? The new fire emoji, the new hand clap emoji. If something is too good for hand claps and fire emojis, it's a volcano emoji. Spread it. The volcano emoji is the new thing to use when something just blows your mind.
Yes.
It's so good she did this. She's so funny. I just got into Lana Del Rey at the demand of besties who are like, Nikki, if you like Taylor, I know you don't like Snow on the Beach, which is the track off Midnights that features Lana Del Rey. It is not my favorite. It is at the bottom of my list. But I just got into Lana Del Rey, the song The Greatest, and it might be the greatest. It's such a good song. So I'm tiptoeing my way in through her discography. I do love her. And then I saw this headline and I fucking came lava. I loved it.
What do you like about it? Would you ever do something like
because
that?
Because it's so petty and so obvious. Like, she knew it was going to get picked up. So she, I guess, dated a cop in Tulsa.
Yeah, he came to our show.
She came to her show and then she met him? Oh, no, she came to
I'm
our
kidding.
show?
That would have been so
he gave me COVID.
Yeah, it's probably
I
him.
definitely got COVID from a meet and greet in Tulsa or Oklahoma. So thanks for that, you guys. It was worth it. Those were such fun shows. But yeah, she guess,
said it's personal.
Do you know the details?
Yeah,
it's personal.
She said, like, on her Instagram, her private Instagram account, she said that it's personal.
Well,
it's
she's got a
dot
leak.
personal.
Okay. But so I think the details behind this, for what I can glean, is that she bought a billboard in Tulsa, Oklahoma to promote her new album. She only bought one billboard. It is in the same place where her ex-boyfriend is a cop in Tulsa. I want details on how those two got together and what that is all about.
That I don't know. They
But
did it for
obviously-
6 months only. And they broke
Okay,
up in
so obviously
2020.
a lot of these, they what?
They broke up in 2020.
Oh, well, you know.
Yeah, I find that surprising.
Old
I could have
habits die
sworn
hard.
like less than a year ago I saw pictures of them canoodling.
Well, maybe they were, so that makes sense though. If they broke up in 2020, then they had some little aftershocks, and it's still fresh for her. This album is probably a lot about him. She's probably not over it. She's probably angry. If I were more famous and like as beloved of a icon as Miss Lana Del Rey herself, I would do the same kind of thing. Because it's, first of all, it's funny, it's messy, it's chaotic, it's bold, it's not a good look in many ways, it's petty, but I love it. And I think this is the type of shit that I do with my jokes sometimes, is I will, I haven't been hurt by a man in so fucking long that I can't really relate to this, but when I used to get fucked over by guys, man, this was what I wanted to do. This is why you write songs, though. I realized the other day, this is why because comedy is too fucking literal. And yes, I have talked about my exes in jokes where I've made fun of a type of person that I describe, and down to a T, it is the person I dated, and they know it, and only they know it. If they even watch my special, I doubt they do. But it doesn't feel as cathartic as writing a song where you can be completely dealing in metaphors. You're expected to deal in metaphors. No one's necessarily trying to suss out who it is, but you also can write about being heartbroken. Like, it's almost like demanded that you do. And I was thinking the other day, like, that's really what songwriting is for burning some bridges like this. Does it feel so good? Anya has a song that she opens my shows with that I beg her to do because it's so funny. And it's written from the perspective of the person she wanted to be after a relationship, because she ran into her ex and he was like, he was just great and he was cheery and he was fine and he was perfect. Right, Anya? And
he
you ran
wished
into
me
him how?
well. I was stalking him. Outside of hot yoga. He started doing Bikram yoga right after we broke up.
And so
then
you
he was
went
like,
to where you knew he'd be.
yeah, I was like, oh my God, I'm totally going in and you're coming out. This is so crazy. And he's like, how are you? And I'd been dying for us to get back together. And he was like, I'm great. And I was like, are you seeing anybody? Thinking like, there's no way. It's been 2 weeks since we broke up. We are so getting back together. And he's like, I am. Yeah. It's not serious though. Are you? Yeah.
He was like,
And
I was seeing her when we were together though, babe. So
Yeah.
it's been months.
Yeah, he married her. And then I was like, okay. And he was like, I just think you're the best girl though, and you just deserve the best. And he took my hand and he like held it in his, and he's like, you really didn't deserve anything I did to you, and I really hope you take care. And I hated the phrase take care after that. I was like, take care? It's so like, this is over.
Mm-hmm.
And then, my therapist, I told her I need to get over this quick because he's over it. Like, he's wishing me well. And then she was like, there's no shortcut through grief. You just have to go through it. And I was like, but he's so mature and I'm nowhere near that level. And she's like, why don't you write a song from the point of view of your more mature self? And the song has a part in it that's like, it's really nice and sweet. And then the bridge is really evil. And it's like, I hope you die a fiery death.
Yeah, she's just
I
like,
hope you choke.
It's so good. And there are even songs in your repertoire that you've written about your fiance that are about like when he was less available and like you guys weren't together and you were kind of wanting to be together, that you wrote with a lot of like venom in your heart. Is that
you mean GFY? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, there's a song called GFY called Go Fuck Yourself, and it is about your fiance. And like as much as you can forgive someone, there's still like times even when you have little flare up fights or something, I'm sure that there's like moments where it's like you still have like you can forgive, but like you also there's a part of you that goes like, I can't believe you did do that to me at one point though. Like it's in you to do that. And you like you keep it in your little like you just keep it in a backlog of like, okay, well, I know you're capable of that. So next time you do something that's a little bit like that, like it's just going on that pile. And yes, it's tucked away and I don't look at it often, but it's there. And I have a song about it that I can bust out at any time and sound amazing and people will clap when I fucking shit all over you. That's a
Thank
good
God
feeling.
for making stuff. Like, aren't you grateful that you can write jokes out of anger or sadness or having your heart ache or fury?
No, I'm grateful for music when I'm going through that. Creating doesn't really, it comes later after the dust is settled. So yes, in that way, it's not, that's why I want to be able to write songs is because jokes, I think, come after you've been able to not be so sad about it. Cause it's just when you're sad or still like really upset about something, it's still so raw that audience can sense it. And anger and comedy don't go as well together, even though they, you know, Sam Kinison, he was over whatever he was screaming about. Or maybe, I don't know. But it's just sad.
But like, how soon after?
Comedy.
How soon after, say, like the incident where that one guy gave you a sweatshirt from a bank and like threw it at your head?
Oh yeah.
How soon after that were you talking about it on stage at the Cellar, just working it out? That's gotta feel
probably
nice.
Right away, but it probably wasn't working on stage for a really long time. But when he did throw it at my head, and I was led to the elevator, and he kind of bowled me in, like, and didn't even go down to the lobby with me, and he just like was holding my hand and then like let it go as he let me in the elevator. All of that stuff I was collecting because I knew, much like I was saying before, like, you know, my annoying behaviors, I know back in my head, like they're annoying and I keep going. I knew all of these things were not good signs of like something that was going to actually work out. So I was collecting all of that stuff and kind of memorizing it to use later because I knew it would be funny. So I think that's a lot of times whenever I'm involved in something that is going down quickly and I kind of don't want it to and I'm trying to save it, I start really getting observant about stuff around me because I want to remember how to make fun of it someday or reflect on it. So like say a bad sexual encounter, I'll start like to get my mind out of like I'm not into this, like this guy doesn't know what he's doing. I'll start being like, okay, what does the room look like? Like what is his hair? Like what's funny about this? To collect so I have something that this didn't just happen because I didn't know how to say you're bad at going down on me or whatever it is. You know, like I don't want the story to be I just got hurt. It needs to like I need to collect an artifact much like a serial killer. You know, like
Right.
I need
You're like,
something.
why
from
do
this.
you have clogs or whatever what do they call them? Not flow hose. Crocs.
Like, yes, just collecting little details of like, oh, okay, right after we made out, you put, you know, the picture frame of you and your girlfriend that was face down is suddenly like up again. And I like noticed that, or I like
my God.
noticed like just.
Is that a red flag though?
Yeah. Noticing like, oh, the pattern on his shorts. And now I see that in pictures with his girlfriend. And I'm like, she has no idea I gave him an over the pants blowjob in those shorts or things like that. Like even the idea of an over the pants blowjob, which is literally something I've done before and I recommend people do it. It's okay. So it's like.
That seems so much more sanitary.
Yeah, it was COVID. So no. No, it was like I didn't want to blow them yet because they didn't deserve it. You know, they hadn't earned it. My repertoire, but I don't want to give a hand job because I'm not very confident at those. And also it just like, I also like didn't want to look at him either. So I just went down there and I just like threw his shorts, just like you could feel it being hard, you know, and you just put your mouth over it. And like it's to the side, you know, because it's not like sticking out.
You play it like
so
a,
you just
like a
like
harmonica.
trace it. It's like you play exactly like a harmonica, and you blow hot air onto it, and it makes they go insane. And
She
you don't
does
even
a
have to, like,
Dylan song while she's doing it. She's like, "Don't look twice, it's over." Wait, can I ask? Did that volcano erupt?
No, I don't think so. I think that would have been too hard to like do to completion. I'm sure
Got it.
he did it himself after I left, but it did make me
Just
laugh.
a warm
And,
up.
Right.
yeah, and I even said I'll give you an over the pants blowjob. Like I was funny about it, like it wasn't like something I came in like, oh, I'm gonna pull this bit out. It's just like something I came up with in the moment that made me laugh really
You gotta
hard.
trademark that.
Yeah, an over the pants blowy. Yeah, I think it's a safe thing to do for women too because you're not gonna have to encounter semen that might infect you or skin, and they'll never forget it. I also once, and I talked about this on a special before, I gave a shin job where I played. He took out his dick, and I just like kind of rubbed my leg back and forth on it because I was like, "You don't deserve me to touch this. Like you haven't. You don't."
These all sound
don't
like the
text me back.
laziest jobs.
It's you try to Jiminy Cricket someone's fucking dick, and while you're
That's
straddling them, so you're like up on. It'd be much easier to jerk off. This is not lazy. So I just played it like a bow of a violin. I'm very musical with all
Like
these.
a Chinese. What is that instrument
when you're like catching the
called? In the
F train in
subway?
Chinatown. Yeah.
That
We gotta
is
go to
so
break.
funny.
These are all great ideas for stocking stuffers.
How many calories does that burn?
Probably a lot. It was kind of like a bar method type thing where you're like doing a kind of micro movement with your thigh. So try these things. Don't let guys come and they'll love you forever, or they'll stay with their girlfriend and not leave her. Okay, we'll be right back after the break after this. All right, we're back. Let's do Reddit dump.
This is your Reddit dump.
Wait, you can really hear the gravel on my voice there. That is not like I go Reddit dump.
It's from your Dylan years.
It's nice to hear my old voice sometimes and go, oh, okay, it's different still. Even though I've probably redamaged it a lot. Let's get to Reddit. Let's see what's on there. I wanted to play one thing that I sent Noah, the one that I sent you that was like this one.
Yes.
I can't believe I saved it because this is probably why I don't post on TikTok. I think this is it. This is the reason. And this guy really articulated it well.
The awesome creator ContraPoints tweeted this week, "Happiness is the ultimate crime this app will not forgive." But what was ContraPoints talking about? Well, the app in question was Twitter, and they were referencing this tweet, quote, "My husband and I wake up every morning and bring our coffee out to our garden and sit and talk for hours every morning. It never gets old and we never run out of things to talk to." Things to talk to. Love him so much. So a lovely, wholesome tweet. And as you can imagine, and as you can see from the numbers, this person got absolutely shredded for this. You had all the normal replies that are like, actually, some people can't afford gardens. So this is actually very offensive. It's actually very ableist to drink coffee. And this isn't me doing the like, people are too sensitive these days thing. No, this is me talking about this very specific phenomenon that's very online, but also very Twitter, where people will not only not give you the benefit of the doubt, they will actively assume that everything you say is meant to be offensive and is meant to offend them specifically. Like, people will read every tweet and assume this has to be directly about me and my life. Like, it can't just be this person saying, oh, I had a nice day in the garden with my husband. It has to be a coded message to me. And it created this fascinating way of communicating that we all have now, where we're having to constantly defend ourselves while we're speaking in case someone chooses to take it in bad faith. Here's an example. Someone took that tweet and then applied this defensiveness to it. My wife, she's a good person, and I wake up every morning grateful and bring our coffee. It's fair trade out to our garden. Our parents helped us with the down payment and sit and talk for hours before we start work. It never gets old. I realize this may change. I love her. Like, this thing of us having to stop every sentence to like preemptively apologize. It's mad we all do this.
Yes.
You always have to be like, yay, I got a small promotion at work. But I know a lot of people don't have jobs. And I know that promotions are an allergy for some people. It's almost like we all spend too much time online, myself included, and we should all just go outside. But no, it can't be that. Must be something else.
Okay, he took a long time to get to it, but this like really stuck with me because I haven't been able to articulate it. Still can't, obviously. This feeling of like anytime I say something, and I've done it on this podcast already like 100 times because I'm so scared of offending people. Not because I think everyone's such a sensitive little fucking snowflake fairy, because I really don't want to offend people. I really don't want to hurt people's feelings. I don't like putting anything out there that makes someone go like, Nikki wouldn't like me, or Nikki like thinks I'm not cool, or Nikki like, you know, even when I was talking about, oh, I don't want to redo my kitchen. Why are there women that want to do that? Like, I have no interest in that. And someone wrote to me and said, you're not relatable because I can't I would love to afford to be able to do that. I felt terrible. And that person has since written to me and said, I was having a bad day. I am so sorry I did that. Like, I looked back at it, like, and I am at peace with that person. And I love that person more than I could ever love anyone who has ever said anything even nice to me. So I've forgiven that. But I wasn't like, this person just like doesn't get it, or that everyone gets offended. I really was like, I gotta not offend that person. So I feel like we waste so much time, at least I waste so much time of caveating everything with like, listen, I know I'm privileged when I say this, but listen, everyone's entitled to their own fucking pain, or the things that upset them, or the things, you can always compare yourself to someone who has less and say, just be happy with what you have. And I think this is what stops me from TikTok. It's because when I do stand-up, I can do all these things and say all this stuff, and I don't have to constantly caveat because it is inherent that I'm joking, right? On a podcast, it is not as inherent that I'm joking. Things are taken more seriously. It is contextualized in a way that's like conversational, thus I must be telling the truth. If I'm complaining about something, it's probably not hyperbole, it's how I really feel. If I feel fat one day, I must be saying that anyone who's actually a fat person must be trash, and that if I hate myself in today's body, they must be. And there's all these things that are implied in that I'm talking directly to you, which I am a lot of times. But then you look at TikTok, and that is even more to me very contextualized to be earnest and real and not as jokey. And the stuff that I would even want to do on TikTok, like, oh, the 5 things that annoy me about, you know, I don't know, St. Louis drivers, right? Like, I wrote this song about St. Louis that I'm going to put on my Instagram today. You've already seen it by this time, or I didn't put it up because I couldn't figure out how to play guitar with it. But I rewrote this Taylor Swift song to promote my show in St. Louis, and I put new lyrics to it. And even writing that, I'm like, I can't offend anyone who might like, in one part I say like I get constant spray tans, and I'm like, oh, this sounds like I'm bragging that I can afford spray. Like, there were a million parts of it that I go, I can't say this because people are gonna think that I'm like not appreciative of being able to afford an apartment or whatever it is, or living in the neighborhood I live in St. Louis, that people in St. Louis know is like a nice neighborhood. It's like, she's just bragging. I just feel overwhelmed by it, and I feel like I just want to give up sometimes because I can't caveat. It'll take up the whole video to do all the caveats before I say what I want to say.
I love this use of caveat as a verb. I think you're right. Like, this is an epidemic of caveating, over caveating, or being overly paranoid.
And I know that it's not
offending.
a verb. I was using it like the way people say, oh, it's
I like
funner.
it.
Yeah. Okay, good. I hope you don't think I'm just an idiot.
No, I think it's a new.
But if you are an idiot, it's totally fine to be an idiot. I'm just kidding.
Gets exhausting.
Aren't you exhausted by this stuff too?
Yes. I mean, I felt like when we were talking about Steve, hot Steve from Santa Rosa, I was like, or I don't know, maybe like when you were like, and we need to help Steve get a girlfriend. I'm like, or maybe he's gay. I don't know. I was like afraid that he was gay. And then it turns out
he is gay.
Yeah.
Steve is not even
Breaking
Steve,
news.
by the way. It's Steven. Breaking news. Dun, 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 dun. We've got a new Steve cast. It's now called Steven cast. Steven from Santa Rosa is a gay man. And I don't know why I didn't just know that. I'm always so, I gotta say, like,
why should we know?
well, because why didn't it even enter into my mind? Because it didn't. I was just like,
Because you're attracted to him. He's
maybe that's
attractive,
it.
and
Yeah.
he was sweet, and
It never entered my mind either until you said, we got to get this guy a girlfriend. And then my
Oh,
caveat
and then you were being
is
exclusive.
yeah,
It
and
seemed
then
like
I
I
was
was
like-
being. But then there are
I was
asexual people out there, Anya, that don't want any partner and aren't attracted
I
to anyone.
fucked up that
so
too.
then
I
why
offended
aren't you
them.
including that?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, Steven is a gay man, and he is looking for friends in Santa Rosa still. I'm guessing of all genders and sexual orientations, and we love him. And yeah, I have
Even
to say though,
more.
when I find out gay people or people of color like me, I really get like any I would say marginalized community when I am accepted and one that I'm not a part of and feel like they're cooler than me a lot of times. And even now I'm like, oh no, people are going to think that I think black people are cooler. And what if black people, you can be nerds if you can be not be cool. Nothing matters, you guys. I just have to say that like some people came to my show this weekend at the meet and greet and they're like, why are there no other black people here? And I go, I don't know. I don't know. Thank you for saying that because you're not wrong. And they go, we are going to spread the word. We love, and I was like, thank you. And then when gay men like me, I feel very, very good because I just think that black people and gay men have better taste than white people. Sorry, white straight people.
There you go.
I just do.
That's a pull quote.
That is my stereotype of the day. They have better taste. Lesbians, not so much. I mean, I appreciate your. I'm not like, yay, a lesbian likes me. I mean, I will say though, to lesbians that come to my show, if you have a crush on me, I am so fucking flattered. You know that, but you do not get to manhandle me or woman handle me. Just as men aren't allowed to woman handle me, okay, or manhandle me, okay. So this happens sometimes where lesbians feel like they can touch me in different ways or like hit on me in different ways that are really, really aggressive. Like if a man did it, he'd be kicked out of the show. Do you know what I'm saying? Or kicked out of the meet and greet line. Like Matt would throw him out. Because it's a woman, it toes this line of like, first of all, and I'm always the first to say, women are not as strong as men. They are not as threatening and as menacing as men just from a physicality point. So there is something to that. So yeah, you can be more, maybe a little bit more aggressive in your hitting on tactics, but tone it down a notch because it makes me uncomfortable
Grabbing
sometimes.
Nikki's underboob is not okay.
Yeah.
Even if you're gay.
Even if it's out and it says touch here.
Touch me.
That's a new fashion to write touch here on my underboob. No, I just had a really aggressive lesbian hit on me and it made me feel deeply, deeply uncomfortable and icky afterwards. Just the way I was looked up and down. And even to her, she goes, hit me up. And I go, I always just tell people like slide into my DMs. They're like, how can I get in touch with you? I go, DMs. And she goes, I'm DMing you. And I go, I'll be waiting for it. And I even gave her that as like, because I wanted her to leave. And I was also scared she was going to be mad at me too, because she had this like kind of power lesbian like hold over me. So I've kind of felt like she was like deleting me a little bit where she was like, I'm your daddy now. And she was like, she goes, I'm going to DM you. And I go, I'll be waiting. And then I had that moment that a lot of women have where they go, I'm being victimized right now. I feel uncomfortable. I'm giving something to someone that I should tell this person to fuck the fuck off. But they bought a ticket to my show. They waited in line for the meet and greet. Maybe she doesn't know she's making me that uncomfortable. And so I give her I'll be waiting. And then I felt disgusting for like even pretending like I was going to be waiting for it. So then I flipped it and I go, to block you. And so then then the door slammed and she couldn't say anything else. So I was like, yay, I stood up for myself at the last second.
It's
so
true.
hard to
You
do.
can feel like molested by someone of the same gender.
But also
for
it's like
sure.
it's like someone at work hitting on you for like people who don't do stand up and meet and greets as you're living. It's just like being at work and you're in a conference room and you get cornered by a creepy coworker.
It is. And then someone's taking a picture of it too.
Oh,
where you have to
brother.
hold on to each other for 10 seconds because everyone's goddamn photos. I love meet and greets, by the way. And the shame of this, the irony of this whole thing is that no one who is a bestie would ever dream of making me feel uncomfortable. And so if you are hearing this going like, I don't want to go to a meet and greet, I might make her feel comfortable. You're not capable of it. These people, again, Anya and I've talked about this before, they don't question, am I going to make her uncomfortable? This would never cross their mind. So this isn't about you, besties. I want to meet you. I fucking love when you walk up in line. You know, I can tell a bestie from 10 feet away, by the way, because they start walking forward and I see a look on their face. I see Like just there's a body language. I'm not even joking you. I
Yes.
always know. And then we always just hug, and then the next person thinks they can hug me too, and I go, not so fast, sir. Like, you're just a fan of my roast, and you have like 18 pictures you printed up for me to sign. Not getting a hug. Actually, yeah, you will. Everyone gets one. I have no boundaries. So, final thought. Okay, here's a couple more Reddit posts that I liked. Okay, this made me laugh out loud so hard. It is so hard for a tweet to make me laugh out loud, but I love
Let me
this.
guess. Oh, it's a tweet.
Yes.
I thought it was a picture.
Okay, it's from Me IRL, which is the subreddit. And it's from a I don't like the name of this person. It says, no, I'm not even going to read the name because it's literally like a slur. So it's from a tweet and it says, if y'all are having a bad day, just letting y'all know my coworker got his prostate exam. And when the doc touched his prostate, he nutted immediately and fell down, knocking over some equipment. Just this guy coming and then like fumbling and falling over equipment. So funny. And a guy just like coming like without is like not even like meaning to is so funny too. Just like seeing a guy, I get really like excited when men get stupid when they come, like when they can't help but come. It's obviously something that hits a funny bone in me when they're just like, ooh, and like it's so funny. Oh my God. And then let me see. Okay. So this one is so funny. I sent it to Noah the other day and said I wanted to do like a deeper thing on it, but I think it can just be, you might have seen this. It circulated around probably 2 weeks ago. It's a series of tweets from this girl named Steph Veerman. Steffi J725 is her handle. It says, my dad took over my hamster once I went back to college and ended up getting really attached. And today he escaped, meaning the hamster. And this goes to prove how truly pure my father is. And this is their text exchange. The father. Oh, wait, sorry. This is the girl first. Dad, do not freak out. It's just a hamster. We will find him. Father. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, honey. I'm so sorry. I'm looking everywhere. I'm so wicked sorry. I'll keep looking all day. She said, that's good. What's the white arc of bedding for? Or is that bedding? What is that? It's flour, so I can see his footsteps if he comes to get the food. I'm never going to forgive myself if he doesn't come back. Should I keep looking for him, or is that going to scare him into hiding? If I can't find him today, I'm not going to work tomorrow, so I can keep looking. I'm going to make it right. She goes, Dad, it's okay. He said, no, it's not. I put him in his ball a whole bunch of times. I should have double checked. God is good. I will trust him. And she said, okay. And then he goes, please call me as soon as you get this. It's an emergency. She goes, oh, wait, sorry. This is the whole exchange. I put him in a ball a whole bunch of times. I should have double checked. God is good. I will trust him. I know he likes peanut butter, peanuts. That's a start. And so this sweet dad is like freaking out. It really reminded me of my own parents of just like the other day I go, Mom, you know, when I was living in LA, I had a bunch of contacts like, you know, that you put in your eyes sent to my parents' house because I didn't need like 100 pair, you know, and I was going to be back soon. So my mom brought one box out when she came up to visit me, and the rest were at her house. And, you know, it's probably like $100 order, a $200 order of contacts, which is a lot, not to say, but it's, you know, it's replaceable, right? So the other day I go, Mom, do you have the rest of those contacts? And she goes, oh God, oh no, Nikki, I think I don't know. Wait, what do they look like? And I go, it's okay. I had them sent to you. You brought me one box, but the rest of them were there. And she's like, oh God. And then she wrote to me, hold on, I just have to find the text.
I put him in a ball.
I put powder around to make sure that they didn't go anywhere.
Exactly. But I said, oh, I can't find it. Wait, why is my text not coming up? Oh, there it is. I have to read some. This is just going to get me. I have to read these texts from my mom. There's
Can
a
you do
couple.
it as Julie?
Yeah. I go, she wrote to me. She goes, are you feeling okay today after COVID? I said, yeah, better. Oh, good. Yep, maybe you're almost done. Can I help you in any way? Get masks or run an errand? I said, that's so nice. No, I'll be okay, Mom. Thanks. She goes, okay. You know, kiss face emoji. I said, do you have the rest of my contact lenses? Let me look. I don't need them before I leave, but I'll order more if not, because I lost them all since my last order. I think it was shipped to you and you brought me 1 box to Callie. And then she sent me a picture. She goes, found them. And she sent a picture of the box. And I said, yay, cool. I'll get them when I get back. And she wrote, phew. And I said, I would have forgiven you if you lost them. And she goes, I wouldn't have. So I was just praying she found them, because my mom would have beaten herself up forever. And it's just
Oh, God, EJ.
And then my dad would have been like, she loses everything. And she would have been like, I lose everything, because my mom feels so bad. But then okay, so this is my mom's feedback on the podcast. Monday, 5:11 p.m. Oh my God, I'm listening to your podcast and you're giving the final thoughts on White Lotus already? I don't think anybody's watched it. I don't know why I'm doing Jennifer Coolidge too. I think it's like the same voice.
Mix, yeah.
I know.
I go, skip ahead. I gave a spoiler alert. I saw it. I just think it's so new that not everyone's been able to watch it. I said, so that's why I gave a spoiler alert. And believe me, everyone who is going to see it has seen it. And she goes, okay. I go, spoiler alerts are an acceptable way to talk about shows. I gave a very obvious one. She goes, I know. You know, it's funny while I was listening. I don't know. I'm doing Jennifer Coolidge. I'm just going to lean into it. It's funny while I was listening to this, but I'd already seen the ending. I was still cringing because I didn't even want to hear it again, because I was so devastated that she died. Why did she have to die? And you do a great impression of her. Really good. I said, I was so mad that she died too. So stupid. It really was pointless. She goes, I know. We need more of her. So my mom was so worried about my besties hearing a spoiler alert. And I said, that's why I gave one, Mom. But
your
she was
besties are not that bright.
No, they might not have seen it yet. My mom doesn't understand that, like, if you would have gone on Instagram, it would have been spoiled 18 times for you that day. Like, if you were... When I said that spoiler alert, it came Wednesday, so it had been 3 days since it had aired. Ample time, I think. And with a spoiler alert warning, I think that's fine.
Hilarious production on that spoiler alert, by the way, Noah.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
That was so funny.
So nice that, you made that work. It was so funny and it was so good. I think we should do more inserts like that. It was so fun. So I think that's the show. I mean, trying to think of, maybe I have one more. I think that was pretty much it. I'm trying to think of anything else we've got going. We're going to be on tour so much in the new year. So many dates, you guys, coming up. What are some of them, Anya? Do you know?
Yes, I do. We're going to be in Albany for 2 nights, Portland, Maine, Kalamazoo, Michigan, Joliet, Illinois, Tampa, Florida, Orlando, Florida, Bloomington, Indiana, Newport, Kentucky,
Tucson,
Lexington, Kentucky.
Tucson, Arizona. Noah will be at that one. Guys, we have so many freaking shows. It is going to be so fun. This tour is out of control. It's so good. We have special guests coming out to open on a couple of these. So I'd love to see you out. If you go alone, I'll give you a free meet and greet. And if you just write me and say you can't afford a meet and greet, I'll give you a free meet and greet. I'm not a monster, okay? So, and if I don't get back to you that you've written me, write me again. Keep writing me until I see it, because I will see it. Or just go to Anya at the merch booth and be like, Nikki said I could have a free meet and greet. And if you're not like a complete creep, she'll fucking give you one. It's not a big deal, okay? I can't wait to meet you all. I love you all so much. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for all the positive feedback and all the messages I continue to get. Happy New Year, everyone. We have exciting things coming up for the podcast in the new year. I'm so excited to have you as a fan and a friend and a bestie. And don't be cuh. And Jack.
Jackpot.